What's up, my brothers from another mother? Gonna do this video at the office today. I'm here before everybody's arrived. I'm well behind on these reach requests, so I wanted to get this done. I apologize for the delay. Sometimes it will take me a few days. All right, let's hop straight into this. So we got this request. He says, digs the videos, very informative and clear to the point. I'm currently married, have been so for 2 years. My wife had no job and was a divorcee. We lived together before the marriage, which went well, apart from her suffering from a gallstone surgery that went okay, months of no sex, painful bloating. I feel I did the regrettable thing and married down, and now she lives with me with her eldest daughter in my property. My son from a previous marriage, regrettably I was widowed, lives with me too and has type 1 diabetes. So he's looking for some feedback towards the end. I'm kind of going to stop between here and there. I've talked about hypergamy and being intelligent about if you're going to settle down with a woman, don't, use the technique that they use. Don't marry down. Simple as that. Make sure she brings something to the table, and that way you will not end up in scenarios like this. I've had this conversation with my lawyer a few times now, my family lawyer. He was a guy that basically bailed me out of my shitty situation. And he's made it very, very clear that for guys to operate in today's Western landscape, the way family law operates and treats men, it is not a good idea to live with a woman or marry a woman if she is not as well off as you or close to as well off as you, because it ends up in scenarios like this all the time. Again, keep in mind, this is coming from a guy that deals with this day in and day out. Anyway, so he's got his wife, divorced wife with eldest daughter and gallstone problems, and his son with diabetes. Here we go. So she is currently trying to do her best with a multi-level marketing business, but it brings in no serious money. No surprises there. Well, it's not like I need to preach to the choir on that one, right? Guys, you should recognize signs and signals like this. The women out there that say that they're an entrepreneur and they do things like multi-level marketing, or they have a dog walking business, or they pick up dog poo or some shit like that. That's not a real entrepreneur. That's not a real business owner. You're not employing people. You're not creating, scalable value in the world, in my opinion anyway. I know that some people will argue with that and say, well, that's a real business. Fine. Go believe what you want. I disagree. Anyway, the last 6 months have been up and down with some argument. I provide her needs through my business as best as I can, but she is lazy, feels entitled, and does very little. She assists my son and provides a mother figure, which has been the main reason for marrying. Now, I don't think that you should go and find somebody to just marry down to because you've been widowed or you have a kid and you need assistance. Children need a male role model and a female role model, both strong, virtuous, and encompasses, masculine and feminine energy. But going outside and shopping for it ends you up in scenarios very similar like this. I've had this conversation with guys that I've coached many times before, and the trend seems to continue, and you'll see what I'm talking about towards the end here. Anyway, so he marries this woman because she provides a mother figure to him. Anyway, obviously, I feel she has used me to raise her status, and I have discussed divorce several times. I bailed her out of bankruptcy, not with my own money, just the court fees. So she's sick, brings a kid from a prior marriage, divorced, doesn't have money, doesn't have the ability to earn income, and she's been bankrupt. I bailed her out of bankruptcy, not with my own money. Okay, so court fees were involved in there. Things seem to be better now. She tells me recently, while emotionally upset, she doesn't want to divorce. I feel this is because she hasn't found a better man to go to as yet, earning more money. Just going to take a slow clap there. Okay, let's carry on. Appreciate your insights. I do not want to appear to demonize her, but since the marriage, I have been questioning whether she is, as you say, if the juice is worth the squeeze. She has little access to the finance to contest a divorce effectively. I'm concerned she will drag it out. Sounds like the dude's considering divorce this time. Well, you've created yourself a little bit of a nightmare there. I don't think that's a surprise. I don't need to talk about that part too much. So you've got a few options. You can either suck it up and keep trucking along for, a good portion of whatever's left of your life, or you can choose to exit the relationship. It sounds like you've become red pill aware, and you've recognized that the choices you've made have led you to a scenario where the juice is not worth the squeeze. So my insight on that is, I guess, twofold. Let me just have a little sip here. Time for a coffee break. And the first thing that I want to say is, obviously, learn from your mistakes. Don't lose, learn. I've talked about this before on my channel, and one thing that you need to understand is you're going to make mistakes in life. You're going to screw up. You're going to stumble and fall. dust off the shoulders, and off you go. The thing that you want to understand is take a lesson from that. There's some sort of silver lining there. You've learned something. Make sure you don't make the same mistake again. You've made a number of mistakes with this woman. Let's just go quickly again. They were, of course, marrying down. She's got a child from a prior marriage living in your house. Looks like full time, so you're providing for some other man's offspring. She doesn't bring any money to the table. She's sick. She has been divorced and bankrupt, was it? Yes, bankruptcy as well. I'd say there's more red flags there than a Chinese communist parade. But, you know, we as men like to try to rationalize things in our head and try to figure out ways to solve problems, especially if you're an entrepreneur. I've suffered from that in the past myself, where I think I can solve all problems just because I am that way. As you have experienced and learned, it is not as easy as it seems or as it looks. You're going to have to do a tremendous amount of work in this environment. But if you're on the exit side of things, talk to a family lawyer wherever you need. Make sure that you've got full counsel and understanding, so you walk into it with your eyes wide open, and you don't get the bitch slapping of a lifetime that a lot of guys get when they just say, I will get divorced. They tell them, and then they go see a lawyer after, and they realize after the fact all the bad stuff that happens. Prepare for it. Pay for an hour or two of your lawyer's time and get full disclosure on what you should expect going through a scenario trying to exit this bad scenario that you're in. I get it. I completely get it, and I sympathize with where you're at, but you're going to have to do a little bit of work if that's where you want to go. Again, two choices. Suck it up or plan the exit. Planning the exit means talk to a family lawyer where you live, your state or province, and doesn't sound like you've got any custody issues because the kid's not yours. Your child will stay with you. Chances are she will be looking for money, though. Hypergamy needs to be optimized during the course of a divorce. Women need to optimize their hypergamy to feel content and satisfaction. All the laws with family law are written to help women optimize their hypergamy. So my expectation for you would be, of course, she's going to look for the money. You know, she's going to try to split the matrimonial assets or get alimony or whatever she can get. She might declare that that her daughter viewed you as a parental figure or as her father during the time that you lived together, and she's owed child support. These sorts of things are not uncommon. So just be very, very careful on the exit. Again, talk to a family lawyer, get your counsel on that. I hope this video helped. And if you guys have any requests for a video topic like this, I'll leave it down here somewhere. It's reach.me/Richard Cooper. You can make a small donation, and I'll record a very specific video and upload it to the channel. Of course, keep your personal information anonymous. And guys, the community that I'm really enjoying building the most is, of course, the Patreon community. So if you want access to premium content that's behind the paywall, less politically correct, way less watered down, and a group of guys working on their shit to become better versions of themselves, that's patreon.com/entrepreneurs in cars. See you guys later. Peace.